Good evening, everybody. Welcome to Shelter Live every Wednesday night at 7 o'clock from the Riley's Creek Baptist Youth Shelter in Rocky Point, North Carolina, virtually reaching our students in this community and wherever you may be watching from. I am your host, Art Sauer. Good to see you this evening. Thank you for joining us. And as always, we are grateful that you are here with us. Let me give you some information as we get started. Let me stop this intro. There we go. Again, thank you for being here. Leave comments, say hello so that we know that you're here this week. Shannon is moderating the comments, and it is just her and I in the studio. It's date night because it's our anniversary this week, and so this is how we're spending our anniversary, which is actually Friday, but that's okay. 27 years right here in the shelter studio, all by our lonesome. So don't come knocking after the show is over, okay? Just saying. Shannon's here moderating the comments, leaving questions and comments that we'll try to answer them throughout the show, throughout the week. Leave prayer requests so everybody can pray for them. And leave comments about some things that you want to see on Shelter Live. If you want to keep up to date with everything that's going on, right here is the Facebook page for the Riley's Creek Youth, and if you want to receive the email that we give out once a week right there at the bottom, sign up down there as always. If you want to get the up-to-the-minute stuff that's going on, our text messaging system, parents, RCSM parent to 81010, students text at RCSM youth to 81010. All that information is in the description at the end of the video. Okay. So, a couple of things to give you for what's going on. This Sunday, our church is regathering. If you want to get the latest updates, you can go to rileyscreekbaptist.com. Earlier this evening, we were able to show a video to show if you want to come, here is what you need to know. Well, guess what? You get to see it again. So here it is. If you want to come, here's what you need to know.
Riley's Creek. We're here to show you how to navigate through the church facility for this coming Sunday's regathering. We will be having one church service at 10 o'clock in the morning. And as you know, we're going to be operating at a 50% capacity in all the rooms of our building. There will not be any nursery or children's programs during the service this Sunday. One of the first things that we ask you to do before you even come to church is to take your own temperature while you're at home. Obviously, if you have a fever, don't come to church. We also ask that you bring your own mask. The CDC recommends that people wear masks in all common areas. If you've forgotten your mask or you don't have one, don't worry. The church will provide one for you. Our leaders have been instructed to wear masks while helping our congregation, and they'll remove their masks when they're on the platform leading or they're out in the common areas. As you can see, there's signs to point out the entrance and the exit. All the doors will remain closed and locked from the outside. We will be practicing social distancing while we're here in the breezeway, so just try to arrive early. Once you've made it into this section, a safety team member is going to be taking your temperature as well as the rest of your family's temperature. Once you've cleared this area, you move on to the next station.
Good morning, Sauer family. Nice to see you today.
Thank you.
While I write down your names, feel free to take a mask if you should need one.
We also have offering envelopes and pins if you would need some.
Thank you. And also just to let you all know, these cloth masks, you can take one if you want to, and you can take it home, you can wash it, bring it back next week and reuse it. So thank you for this section. It's done. As you can see, this hallway is one way during the pre-service. And right here, you will be having a deacon that will lead you to your next destination. At this junction, you have the choice of either sitting in the fellowship hall or you can sit in the sanctuary. Let's go in here. These are the bathrooms that will be used for those who are sitting in either the fellowship hall or the sanctuary. There's a limited amount of people that are allowed in each bathroom, so please be respectful of those inside. Also, in each stall, there's a sanitizer spray for you to use. Once you're in the fellowship hall, deacons and ushers will help seat you once you've arrived. As you can see, you will be viewing a live stream of the service that will be going on in the sanctuary at the same time. The chairs are set up in rows that are 6 feet apart, and families are able to sit together on those rows. Singles and couples will be seated on rows 6 feet apart. Also, the kitchen is closed, and the water fountain is not in use at this time. If the fellowship hall gets filled to capacity, then we have Sunday school classrooms for seating and viewing of the live streams available. As you can see, there's tape on every other pew, and those same rules of seating apply in here as did in the fellowship hall. In order to maintain social distancing, we've removed the time for shaking hands during worship and song. The offering plates have also been removed, but there are drop slots in several locations, 2 in the back of the sanctuary and 1, of course, on the door under the breezeway. Or you can continue to give online or through text or mail in your tithe. The invitation is also going to be different at the end of the service. If God has moved you during the service to respond to the message, and you feel the need to talk to a pastor, the pastor's office will be open following the end of the service, and a pastor will be there to greet you and to talk with you if needed. At the end of the service, the ushers and the deacons will dismiss you by row to leave the sanctuary and the fellowship hall. Those that need to use the ramps will be dismissed through the doors behind the platform in the sanctuary and through the fellowship hall doors. The remaining pews in the sanctuary will be dismissed through the vestibule right here, and those who are remained in the fellowship hall will be released through the kitchen door. And those that are seated in the Sunday school classrooms will be dismissed through the front of the education building. If you need to visit the pastor, exit the building as you have been dismissed, and then re-enter through the door under the breezeway, and then enter the main office area, and a pastor will be there to greet you.
And so there you have it. That's what's going to happen this Sunday. We have one service at 10 a.m. And so I hope that if you're planning on coming, come early because we will open up doors around 9 o'clock so that you can be screened to get in. If you're interested in helping to serve, I'll throw this out there for everybody who is watching. We are looking for ushers, greeters, online greeters. That is a new ministry for the church, and if you want to know what an online greeter is, you need to come to the meeting. Audio-visual folks, we're also looking for on-camera hosts, so if you want to do what Shannon has done for the last 13 weeks and help give announcements on camera, we need you. And so all of those folks are going to meet this Thursday in the fellowship hall at 6:30 p.m. We are going to give information about all of that, so please come. Youth, if you want to come and be involved, come. And we would love to have you, please, because we need some folks that are going to help. We need lots of people. What else is coming up? This month, for the month of June, the church is going to be collecting canned goods to give to Amanda Burdick, which is what we call a food pounding. They call it a pounding because we give it to her by the pound. And so anything that's non-perishable that you can spare or while you're out buying stuff, grab some stuff and bring it to the church. There is a container that is by the entrance door under the breezeway, and we can put those things in there, and then we'll collect them inside the church for you throughout the entire month of June so that when she is ready to move into her house in July, she can have that stuff ready and available. Bible study, the same thing that we've been doing week after week after week. Well, this week we're going to be doing kind of an older study, but it's a good one. Crazy Love by Francis Chan. And so if you've been with us, I hope that you've enjoyed it being with us. And we go 5 days, 6 days, and then we start a new one every Thursday. So if you haven't had a chance to do that, look for it on the youth Facebook page or look for the invite on the Bible app, and we'll be happy to give that to you and be part of our Bible study. our meals on campus, free breakfast and lunch. Don't know why I don't have a slide for that, so ignore this. Free breakfast and lunch every day on church campus, somewhere around 12:45 to 2:30 each day. Bag lunch breakfasts. Fridays, they give you enough for the whole weekend. Meals are going to continue until the end of the month. And then after that, you're on your own for the rest of the summer. But all students under 18, and actually if you come after that, they'll have meals available. Usually, they've kind of cut down on the meals as I was talking to them today. So make sure that you're coming and getting all of the stuff that you need. Graduation week, June 10th. The whole Wednesday night's going to be focused for our graduates. I'm going to be sharing a message called Soar right there. That'll be from the book of Isaiah. And even though we're not having full graduation ceremonies, or maybe we are having full graduation ceremonies, I know Pender's kind of working on it. New Hanover, you're getting there, kind of working on it. And we're hoping to honor those that are graduating here. If you have not turned in pictures, I need those, like yesterday. And so anything that you can turn in, rcbc@rileyscreekbaptist.com, and we'll be using those pictures. For the rest of July, we're going to be sharing a series called Broken. Ignore the dates on the bottom because they have shifted to June 17th, 21st, July 1st, and July 8th. And so we're going to be talking about what it's like to feel broken, what it's like to live in a broken world. I'm going to mention that a little bit later on tonight. And then for the rest of July and into August, we're going to be talking about the greatest commandment, love the Lord your God with all your heart, mind, soul, and strength. And so join us for those 4 nights as we continue to do that. Don't have information about when we're going to be meeting in person again. We're working on it. Trust me, we're working on it. And as soon as I can get that stuff to y'all, I will. Tonight, though, we are finishing up the parable of the lost son. We have talked about the older son, the younger son, and the father. And so we're going to kind of wrap things up and sum it up, and we're going to discuss what we've learned over the past few weeks. But before we dive into our learning time, always have a blast playing during Shelter Live. And so thank you for being part of it as we do this from week to week and never know what's going to happen. We're getting better at it, I think. Just about the time I think we have it down is about the time that we're going to have to quit doing it this way and have people live in the building, which is a good thing. But the winner from last week's game, our winner of this week's cookies is Miss Maddie McPherson. There she is again. Thank you for playing. She is the proud owner of a dozen or so cookies that were on a plate given to her. They were delivered. She does not have to share with anybody, but they were delivered, and so there you have it. Tonight, we are going to play a game that is called What's That Sound? And this is the celebrity or animal edition. And here's how it's going to happen. I am going to play a sound, so you make sure you have the volume on your phones, on your iPads, on your TV, however you're watching. Turn it up. And you have to answer, is the sound a celebrity or an animal? Is the sound a celebrity or an animal? That's a little scary. And so the names of the celebrities are going to be on the screen already. The names of the animals are going to be on the screen already. You just have to tell us which one it is. And Shannon's keeping score to see who's going to win the coveted cookies this week. And you have to guess which one is right. By the way, huge shout out this week to a gentleman by the name of Delmar Pete. He is a pastor in South Carolina, and the folks at Download Youth Ministries. If you wonder where I get all these wonderful games from, I don't make these up myself. These are things that they provide for us, and so it is a service to the church. And so thank you for DYM for all of the interactive games that I share this week. All right, let's get right into it. Here it is. Listen, is this Cardi B or a house cat? Oh my goodness. Is it Cardi B or a house cat? You got it? Let's see what you got. Cookies are on the line. Cardi B or a house cat? All right, we've got one who guessed Cardi B. We've got another that guessed Cardi B. We got a couple that are guessing Cardi B. My screen froze. There it goes. Cardi B or a house cat. That's what we're looking for. Cardi B or a house cat. Let me play that for you again. Felicia McPherson's going with C. Oh my goodness, that's enough. Need an answer from Katie Reed and Maddie. Come on, Maddie. There's Katie Reed. She's going with Cardi B. Maddie's going with Cardi B. Here we go. The correct answer is... It is, in fact, Cardi B. Oh my goodness, that's really scary. Yuck. All right, so let's keep going. What is that sound? Next one. Is this Chris Rock or is it a dog? Did you get all that? Is it Chris Rock or a dog? Let me hit that for you again. Chris Rock or a dog? Katie Reed's going with Chris Rock. Ada's going with the dog. Kristen McCain's going with Chris Rock. We got 3. Yeah, Shannon's dying in the background. Oh, Eileen, hello, going with Chris Rock as well. Who else we got? Hannah says Chris Rock. Felicia's going with Chris Rock. Carol's going with Chris Rock. Or maybe it's just The Rock, I don't know. Jeb's saying the dog. Who we missing? Who?
Did Katie Reed answer?
Katie Reed said Chris Rock.
Okay, I think everybody answered.
All right, and the correct answer will be... Yep, it's the dog. Oh my goodness. I can't even believe it. I got to do that again. That was... And there you have it, the dog. All righty. Question number 3. Is it Kim Kardashian or a fox? Kim Kardashian or a fox? There you have it. Kim Kardashian or a fox. Let me hit that for you again. All right, Eileen's saying it's the fox. Krista's saying it's the fox. Hannah says it's the fox. All these people that live in Rocky Point, apparently they've heard of fox before. Katie Reed says it's a fox.
Oh, that's Kim Kardashian.
Maddie says it's Kim Kardashian. Ada, okay. Carol says it's Kim Kardashian. I don't know. We can go either way on this. Who we missing? There's Jeb. Jeb's going with the fox. We got everybody?
I'm looking. Yes.
Okay. And the correct answer would be... It's an animal. It is indeed the fox in the background. If you missed it, there it is again. That's really scary that they could get that confused with Kim Kardashian. Alrighty. Number 4. Here we go. Is this Jack Black or a tiger cub? Jack Black or a tiger cub? Listen in. All right, that could go either way. I think. Jack Black or a tiger cub? All right, Felicia's saying it is Jack Black. JB. Let me play that for you one more time. And there you have it. Jack Black or the tiger cub. What's that sound? Only one person's brave enough to guess.
Wait, a whole bunch of them are being held back from YouTube. Hang on.
Uh-oh. We got some. They're coming in. They're rolling in. They're rolling in faster now. Yes, they are. Oh, my goodness.
Everybody thinks that Jack Black is a bad word. I mean, YouTube.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I'm having to open them all.
Oh, goodness.
I think that's it.
Yeah?
Wait a minute. Yeah.
I lost my live feed. Oh, well. Alrighty, here we go. Is it Jack Black or is it the whatchamacallit? What did I say? The tiger cub. And the correct answer would be...
Let's do this!
There it is. It is definitely Jack Black. Yup. Alrighty. Did you get all that? Jack Black right there. What's that sound? And apologize for those that couldn't stuff in there. Whatever. Next one. We're looking for, is this Lil Wayne or is this a buffalo? That's quite a combination. Lil Wayne or a buffalo. Here we go. Uh-huh. There it is. Lil Wayne or a buffalo. Which one do you think it is? Go ahead and put your guesses in there. And while you're doing that, I'm going to go ahead and throw that up there and hear it again. Eileen said it's Lou. I'm guessing that's Lil Wayne. Carol's throwing up. Krista's going with the buffalo. Hannah says it's Lil Wayne. Katie Reed says it's Lil Wayne. Ada goes Lil Wayne. Yep. Everybody guessed Lil Wayne. Nobody's guessing the buffalo. Oh, no. Krista guessed the buffalo. Wouldn't that be funny? I'm not familiar with Lil Wayne and all his antics. We got everybody? Here we go.
Hang on.
Oh. Carol says the buffalo. Jeb says Lil Wayne. Krista, I am going.
I'm going?
You're leaving. Aw. All right, here we go. Next one, and here is the answer. It is the celebrity. It is Lil Wayne, in case you were wondering. All right, last one, I think. How are we doing? We got a winner, clear.
No, we have a tie.
Oh, we've got a tie, so we keep going. All righty, next one. For those of you who don't know, is it PewDiePie or is it a goose? PewDiePie or a goose? All right, there you have it. PewDiePie or a goose. Which one do you think it is? PewDiePie or the goose? Everybody's thinking. Oh, Hannah's going with the goose. Let me play that for you again so you can decide. PewDiePie or the goose. A bunch of people are going with the goose. I don't think anybody knows who PewDiePie is. That's one I actually know. I know who PewDiePie is. Goose, 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 duck, goose.
Come on, people.
And slow to respond. Katie Reed says the goose. Ada says goose. Really? Jeb says the goose. I think a few have left. Krista had to leave.
Okay, then that's it.
All right, well, here we go. And the correct answer is...
Back at it again with another original.
There's PewDiePie. If you don't know who PewDiePie is, he's one of the highest subscription persons on YouTube. And so there it is.
By the way, none of y'all know what a goose sounds like. That sounds nothing like
Yeah, we got to work on your goose sounds. All right, so we're still in a tie because nobody got that right. And so here it is, Will Ferrell or a rhino? Will Ferrell or a rhino? There you have it, Will Ferrell or a rhino. Yeah, let me play that for you one more time. Ada says it's Will Ferrell. Katie Reed's going with Will Ferrell. Hannah says Will Ferrell. Maddie says actually. Uh-oh. Eileen says it's Will Ferrell. Everybody's going with Will Ferrell. I guess they don't hang around much rhinos, or maybe that's just Will Ferrell. Sounds more like Will Ferrell as opposed to the rhino. What do you think? What do we got?
What did Maddie mean?
Addie, what do you mean by there? Maddie went with the rhino. Jeb went with the rhino. Carol went with the rhino. Yeah? I think that's everybody, yeah?
I think so.
And the correct answer would be... it's actually a rhino. Can you believe that? My goodness, he's so cute. Little rhino, look at it. There. So the next time you hear that sound, it is not Will Ferrell. It is a rhino that is behind you. All right, last one. Got to make it the last one, or we're going to be here forever. And the last one would be, is this Will Smith or is it a walrus? Will Smith or the walrus? What do you think? Tuck your answers into the comment section so that we can get this thing in gear and we can have a winner. Maddie's going with Will Smith. Felicia went with the walrus. Eileen went with Will Smith. Ada went with Will Smith. Uh-oh. Katie Reed's going with the walrus. Maddie, I can't read what that is there. Hannah Rooks is going with the walrus. Carol Tuthrow says it sounds ugly. Okay. And I think we've got everybody there. Do we have everybody? Yeah. Shannon says we have everybody, so the correct answer would be... oh my goodness, we still have a tie. All right, and that is definitely Will Smith. All right, so let's keep going. I don't want to do that one. Let's do this one. So we still have a tie, and the tie is well, it doesn't matter. Here's the next one. Is this Mariah Carey or is it a seagull? Yeah, I don't care because I can't win. Aw, Carol. Here we go. Mariah Carey or a seagull?
My mom said Seagull.
Oh. Mother-in-law Sally says seagull. You don't see her on the comments, but she's texting Shannon. Ada says seagull. Felicia going seagull. Eileen says seagull. Katie Reed says seagull. Oh, Carol says the rhino was ugly. Maddie says seagull. Nobody really wants to believe that's Mariah Carey. Ooh, Hannah says Mariah Carey. Carol went with the seagull.
Well, that didn't help at all.
No. Jeb went with the seagull. Maddie, what is that? She's got the spinning circle of death. But the correct answer is... it is actually Mariah Carey. Can you believe that? Sounds just like her. Let's play that again, just so that you can hear that. We still have a tie, folks. All right, last one. Tie or not, we may have to split cookies this week, or we'll flip a coin. But here's the last one. Is this Hillary Clinton or is it a bird? There you have it. Is it Hillary Clinton or is it a bird? Take your pick. Be kind. Hillary Clinton or a bird? Eileen went with Hillary Clinton. Hannah's going with Hillary Clinton. Carol, what? Yeah.
Said Hillary.
Sally says Hillary. Katie Reed's going with Hillary. Felicia went with the bird. All right, Maddie says Hillary Clinton, and a little worried about that. Ada, I need your answer. She's going with the bird. Jeb went with Hillary. And I think that's everybody that we need to get in, correct?
And with that, we have
All righty. And with that, we have a winner because the correct answer is... Congratulations to Ada. You won the cookies, and that means we don't have to travel this week. We can give her cookies at any time and take her picture so that she wins. Congratulations, Ada. I could not resist. And thank you for playing. Yes. Wow. So this evening, my goodness. Before we get started, let me say something before we jump in here about the parable of the lost son. A couple of things have been going on this week, things that have really been on my mind and on my heart, things that have really been unsettling. This is not, I script everything this week, and it's usually on my computer. This is not on my computer, just something that I need to tell y'all. Things that I've been struggling with this week. One is everything that's going on with all of the racial tension, the riots, the protests that are going on, and all that's happened in Minneapolis and gradually has shared across throughout the rest of the United States. Normally, I would have plenty of answers, and I have lots of opinions, but I don't necessarily have any answers. And let me say it this way. Where I grew up in New Jersey, I was blessed. Like I've always said, I'm the northern big fat white Yankee that's come down the South to share the gospel of Jesus with those that are in the South, and this is where God placed me. But when I was growing up, I never dealt with anything racial, at least not to my knowledge, and maybe I was just ignorant about it. But it's one of those things. One of my friends in high school, his name is Frank Connerton, and this dude was huge. I mean, big football lineman guy. And I'll never forget Frank. Frank's black, but, never thought about that, except for the fact that one day as a freshman in high school, I had a bunch of guys that were picking on me. I was chunky and new and all that kind of stuff. And, I remember Frank because he and I just kind of hit it off because this dude, he was like a walking wall is the best way to describe Frank. But a huge teddy bear. And I just remember walking the halls of the school, and one day a bunch of guys started to pick on me, and Frank walked up behind me and just told them to stop. And ever since that day, Frank and I have been friends. And it's just one of those things where, I never saw anybody for the color of their skin, never saw anything different, never thought about how people live differently in culture and all that kind of stuff. It just never occurred to me that any of the racial stuff still went on, even to the point where when Shannon and I were dating and we were getting married, and after we got married and we started talking about things, and with her living in the South in North Carolina, some of the things that she grew up with different than what I grew up with, I just thought to myself, that's ridiculous. All this stuff is way past us. Well, apparently it's not. And I just want to let everybody know that, as a pastor of a church, it incredibly hurts and grieves my heart that people can be so stupid. And I don't even know what else to say about it. I really don't. I hate it that people can be that ignorant to each other and that people can treat each other like that. I don't get it, and I don't understand it. And maybe that's part of the problem is I don't understand what's going on because I didn't grow up that way. And I didn't have to deal with all of that. Even living in Central Jersey, maybe it's gotten worse since I've left, but I don't see that. So my prayer is that, through everything that's going on, through the opportunities that we have now in the tension that's taking place, that we as Christians, as believers, as the Church of Jesus Christ, that we can, in fact, do something about it. That we can, thank you, that we can take some time, pray. Pray for those that are hurting. Pray for those that are dealing with this. Pray for that family of that man that was killed. And from everything that I understand, and I don't know them personally, but from anything I understand, he was a gospel-fearing man. He wanted peace. He didn't want all the riots. He didn't want all of the things that are taking place after what took place. And from what his family has said and the prayers and all of that he did at the place where his brother was murdered is incredibly an act of peace. And I think that's more in the line of what they want. They don't want all the racial tension either, but it's there. And it's something that, we need to recognize, but at the same time, it's something that we need to pray about. It all stems from sin, and it all stems from things that have happened long time ago. And so my prayers are for his family. My prayers are for my brothers and sisters in Christ that deal with this every day that I'm completely ignorant to and completely unaware about. And I hope that you'll join me in that as we go through the days ahead and all that takes place. Through that, we've had an incredible time together over the past few weeks, sharing some stories, highlights, all the things that have been taking place, fun activities, interactions, conversations. And I don't know about you, but I kind of feel like a different person over the past few weeks, just going through this particular story that we've talked about and things that I've experienced that have changed me for the better. I've read this story all the time, and I know if anybody like you, if you've been through Sunday school and all that, or been to church at any given point in time in your life, you've heard this story over and over and over and over again. And the thought of finishing this series, though, kind of has me thinking, will this change that I've experienced actually last? And I think about that all the time. Every time I preach, I wonder who's heard it and who's walked out the back door of the church and not thought a thing about it. Because I can kind of see myself, turning off the camera, packing up, going home, and just going back to doing what I normally do. But I don't want that. And I think what I've learned and experienced with God over these past few weeks to really help me change. And so this series has been amazing together, even though you're on a screen and I'm here. It's been a great time. And, there's been new people that have popped up. It's great, sweet memories. And we could just look back at this and say, yeah, it was fun. Or we could look back at the series and say, this was fun, and it was when my life changed for the better because of my relationship with God. There's been so much we've learned about and talked about as we've read through the parable of the lost son together. It's going to be easy for us to think that we can take 3 or 4 things and put it to work. But then we turn off the screens and we realize that we can't do 3 or 4 things at the same time. and then we fail, and then we go back to being our old selves. So that's not what I want to happen. I want you to focus on one thing. And just one thing from the series that you can focus on as a growth area when you're home this next week. Maybe you already know what that one thing is. And perhaps it's a note or a main point from the previous lesson that we've talked about, the lost son. Or maybe tonight you're going to identify one thing. But I have some suggestions for you, and here they are. First of all, if you follow Jesus, and I'm not saying to do both of them. I'm saying that maybe one of them makes sense as your thing. So now that I know that not everybody is listening is a Christian, and I get that. Not everyone here follows Jesus, and honestly, that's really okay. For those of you who don't follow Jesus, just listen into these first suggestions, and then I'll share an idea for your one thing closer to the end. But your first suggestion for your one thing, for those that follow Jesus, is this. If you don't need to seek opportunity, seek God. When you seek God, opportunity will seek you. You don't need to seek opportunity, seek God. And when you seek God, opportunity will seek you. Now, in the parable of the lost son, the younger son was only concerned with the opportunities he wanted on earth. He spent a lot of time dreaming, planning, and living away from home. He was looking for a worldly opportunity to find meaning. And how well did that work out for him? Not too good, you know. In this moment, when he was his lowest, he decided to seek God instead of chasing after earthly opportunities. It's likely he thought returning to his father would mean that all this opportunity would be gone as well. And still he returned home and he apologized. And what happened? Well, we find that out in Luke 15, 22 through 24. It says this, "But his father said to the servants, 'Quick, bring the finest robe in the house and put it on him. Get a ring for his finger and sandals for his feet, and kill the calf we have been fattening. We must celebrate with a feast, for this son of mine was dead and has now returned to life. He was lost, but now he is found.' And so the party began." So when the younger son returned to God, his opportunity wasn't taken from him, it was given to him. He wasn't punished in the moment, he was praised and celebrated. And there's something here, or maybe somebody here who has been looking to the world for opportunity. You know, looking to the world to tell them how valuable they are and what they can or can't do. There's lots of people, lots of teenagers, lots of students, lots of adults, lots of senior adults that are struggling right now with the whole thing of identity. They struggle with the thing of low self-esteem. They struggle with, who am I really? How valuable am I really? Well, let me put it to you this way. You don't need to seek opportunity, seek God. When you seek opportunity, or when you seek God, opportunity will seek you. There's a difference between seeking God first, praying to God, and then making a decision instead of making decisions and then just asking God to bless your decision along the way. I mean, what opportunities do you want to have? Why not take those hopes and plans and dreams to God first? Why not trust God's timing? It's going to take patience, but you're going to experience God in a new way, in an exciting way, okay? The second idea for your one thing, for those of you who follow Jesus, is this. Just as God forgives us without limit, we should forgive others. I mean, the older brother was furious at the loving father for offering forgiveness. And the older brother thought that since he had made all the right decisions, that he was better than he deserved, more than his younger brother. But the loving father offered forgiveness while at the same time affirming the older brother. It says in Luke 15, 31 through 32, his father said to him, "Look, dear son, you have always stayed by me, and everything I have is yours. We had to celebrate this happy day." So maybe somebody here is holding a grudge. I mean, somebody here thinks that the other person made the wrong choice, that they should have to pay big time. This society today, this whole thing about rioting, this whole thing about what's going on with people complaining on social media. By the way, I have turned Facebook off. Sorry. For those that are trying to find me on Facebook, I'll be there to send announcements through the church, and that's about it because I can't take it anymore. Because all of it is about blame. It is, who can we blame? Let's blame the president. Let's blame Congress. Let's blame the white community. Let's blame the white cops. Let's blame the black community. And you know what? Nothing gets solved on Facebook. Nothing. Zero. And so I shut it off. But people think that they have to pay big time. Here's the deal. God forgave you. And He forgave me. And He forgave everybody. He's the one who first loved us, and He forgives us. So just as God forgives without limit, we should forgive others. It doesn't make sense to hold into bitterness. It doesn't make sense for us to not forgive another person. Now, learn from whatever happened, yes, but offer forgiveness. The person who said this is unknown, but I love this quote. Not forgiving somebody is like drinking poison and expecting the other person to die. Not forgiving someone is like drinking poison and expecting the other person to die. I mean, for those of us who follow Jesus, we must offer forgiveness. Do you have somebody you need to forgive? Do you have someone you need to go and ask to be forgiven? Even though we might be nervous to ask for forgiveness, even though it doesn't seem fair, even though we still may even be upset, God forgives us without limit, and we are to forgive others. It's what separates us as believers from the rest of the world. Now, whether you're a Christian or not, I have one thing for you to consider. And the thing is true for everybody. So if you want to take this one thing as your focus, you're able to. Here it is. The secret to your future is hidden in your daily routine. The secret to your future is hidden in your daily routine. Now, I think of it this way. I have a couple of jars up here. You can't see them. But this one here is filled with ping pong balls. And it looks like your life. It's pretty full, right? And that's because it's full of the things that you'd be incomplete without. You know, things like love, family, food, water, health, parents, passions. And with all these things, you could have nothing else and still live a full life, right? But even with this, you still have some space to fit more things, you know, maybe smaller things like your job, a car, house, money, and things that are important. So let's see. I've got some sunflower seeds here. What if we take these sunflower seeds and I pour these into this jar? Yeah? Look at there. We'll put those in there. That fits pretty well. Now, if you took all of them away, your life would still be full. But even watching this right now means that you're lucky enough to have some of these things, right? You still have some space left over. Ooh, and I just spilled all those on the floor. And these are really smaller things, a lot smaller things, like watching a movie, playing a video game, sports, ice cream, right? Things that make your life a little bit nicer, but are trivial in the end, all right? So what if we took this is sunflower seeds, but they're shelled. We can put those little things in there. If you wanted, you know, here, we'll add those little things in there. Pretty cool. Look at there. We still have lots of room for stuff, right? Ping pong balls, the things that you absolutely need in life, those shelled sunflower seeds are the things that, you know, are good, but not necessary, but still part of life. And then those little things, right? They're all in there all together. All right. But here's the thing. If you wanted to put those things in first, empty jar, maybe wasting time in front of the television, playing video games or whatever it might be, well, let's put those things in first. Okay? There you go. We put those things in first. Sweet. They're in there, all right? And then you could follow it up with the material things like money and cars. There's your little things, right? If you put the little things, the next things, the material things in, money, cars, house, clothes, let's put those in there and get that going because, you know, people want to fill up their lives with the material things, right? So there it is, all the material things in life right there. But then when it comes time to fit in the important things of life, those ping pong balls, What's going to happen when you try to put these things in there? Well, we can put 1, 2, a few. Let's try to put all this stuff in there that we need. Food, parents, love, all of that stuff that's important, you know? What happens when you start putting that stuff in there? It becomes a mess. You run out of space. Some things have to be left out. And nobody wants that. So keep that in mind when you go about your daily routine. Make sure that you have time for the really important things. And then leave space for the rest. See, remember, because the secret to your future is hidden in your daily routine. What's important to you? How do you plan your day? Is it important that we have time for the things that matter most in life? Do that for a week and then review it. I think you'd find some time when you could focus on the things that matter most in life. And so here's the deal. I want you to take a step. What is your one thing going to be? Maybe you need to seek God before you seek opportunity. Perhaps there's someone you need to forgive. Or is there someone you need to go and ask forgiveness? You know, what if you reviewed your daily routine, how you spend each day? Pick one of those and run with it and make that your step this week after everything that we've learned. The time we've had together a few weeks has been amazing, and I'm glad we've been able to spend it together. I hope when we look back on this particular parable 20 years from now, remember that it was more than just a quarantine, but a time when we were transformed by God, a time that we realized God sent His Son Jesus to die for us, and that through Jesus we're known. Let's pray together. Father, grateful for the story that you've given us, for the parable, and this particular parable, how we've been able to use it. Lord, my prayer is, as always, that before we turn off our TVs, our phones, our iPads, whatever the case, Lord, help us to realize, first of all, how valuable we are to you. Valuable enough that you sent your Son to die for each one of us. Valuable enough that even though we live in this broken, sinful world, that while we were enemies of Christ, of Jesus, that you sent him to die for us. That's how valuable we are to you, that you so loved us. And that, Lord, through that, sending your Son, we are able to overcome the world. We are able to get past all of the pettiness, get past all of the things that make people just stupid. And so, Lord, my prayer is that for each one you would show us in some way through this parable over the past couple of weeks, what is the one thing that we can do? What is the one thing that's going to separate us as believers in Christ from those that aren't? And how can we respond to what's going on in the world by looking to you, by looking to your word as the truth, by grounding and founding ourselves in you, that when things come along, we know that we're going to be okay because of you. And so, Lord, my prayer is that for each one that's watching, however you've spoken to them, that they would grab hold of that, and that throughout the rest of this week, that they would continue in that direction. Lord, we love you. We thank you for this time. It's in Jesus' name we pray. Amen. Thanks again for joining us tonight. Tell your friends to come each week. Be looking for who wins the cookies this coming week. We'll take pictures of Ada as she's eating. I guarantee you she won't share them with anybody, including me. See you back here next Wednesday night.